Aquarius, September 2026 becomes a month of important decisions involving relationships, shared finances, and your long-term direction. During the first half of the month, much of your attention is focused on commitments, trust, and the resources you share with other people. As September progresses, your focus gradually shifts toward education, travel, important documents, and expanding your horizons. The central theme of the month is creating new foundations for how you collaborate with others without sacrificing your independence. On September 11th, the new moon in Virgo activates your 8th house, opening a brand new cycle involving shared finances, loans, investments, taxes, financial support, insurance, and deep partnership agreements. A new financial process may begin, additional resources may become available, or you could renegotiate the way money, responsibilities, and commitments are shared with another person. Then, on September 26th, the full moon in Aries lights up your 3rd house, bringing results in matters related to education, paperwork, negotiations, contracts, travel, communication, and important information. Documents may finally be completed, an educational process may reach an important milestone, a significant conversation may take place, or new information could dramatically reshape your plans for the months ahead. These two lunations are closely connected. September shows that financial decisions are inseparable from information, communication, and agreements. Right now, it's not enough simply to know what resources are available. You also need complete clarity about the terms under which those resources are being shared. A single conversation, document, or contractual revision could significantly reshape your long-term financial strategy. Meanwhile, the new lunar node cycle continues along your 1st and 7th house axis. The North Node in Aquarius steadily encourages greater personal independence and asks you to make decisions based on your own direction rather than someone else's expectations. At the same time, the South Node in Leo continues helping you release relationship patterns where too much of your life depended upon another person's choices or approval. One of the month's most significant themes is Venus, which has already entered the shadow phase of its upcoming retrograde cycle. Until September 10th, Venus travels through Libra and your 9th house, making the first part of the month especially favorable for education, travel, international connections, legal matters, publishing, and expanding your professional horizons. After September 10th, Venus enters Scorpio and your 10th house, shifting more attention toward career, reputation, professional status, and relationships with authority figures. A promotion, career opportunity, leadership role, or greater public visibility may become available. However, because Venus is already moving through its retrograde shadow, many career and financial decisions made this month will likely require review or adjustment later this fall. Until September 23rd, the Sun remains in Virgo and your 8th house, making the first half of September especially important for shared finances, obligations, trust, and situations requiring careful investigation beneath the surface. After September 23rd, the Sun enters Libra and your 9th house, increasing your interest in learning, travel, international opportunities, publishing, legal matters, and future development. What begins as a financial decision early in the month gradually evolves into a much broader vision for your future. The deeper purpose of September is learning how to build healthier relationships and agreements without losing your individuality. The new moon launches an entirely new financial chapter. Jupiter continues expanding opportunities through partnerships. Meanwhile, Pluto and the North Node in your 1st house increasingly insist that every major decision reflects your own evolving identity and long-term goals. By the end of the month, conversations naturally expand beyond immediate obligations, while professional ambitions become increasingly prominent. Now, let's take a closer look at the month, day by day. September 1, Mars in Cancer and your 6th house forms a challenging square to retrograde Saturn in Aries and your 3rd house. The beginning of September may require you to become more disciplined with your work schedule, paperwork, communication, and daily organization. A new assignment, project, or change in responsibilities may reveal that your current system is no longer capable of supporting your workload. You may need to restructure your schedule, improve communication with coworkers, organize documents more efficiently, or devote additional time to learning something essential. If your work depends heavily on information, details, writing, or communication, careful review becomes especially important now. At the same time, Mercury in Virgo and your 8th house forms a supportive sextile to Mars. A practical conversation helps resolve a financial or work-related issue more efficiently. This is an excellent time to discuss compensation, responsibilities, project terms, investments, loans, taxes, insurance matters, or any situation requiring a practical connection between your daily work and financial outcomes. September 6 to 9, Venus continues moving through Libra and your 9th house. Education, travel, international opportunities, publishing, legal matters, and expanding your professional horizons move into the spotlight. An attractive opportunity involving another country, advanced study, certification, or publishing may appear. September 8th, Venus forms harmonious aspects to the lunar nodes. A decision involving education, travel, or your future direction may significantly alter your personal life path. You may realize that you no longer want to build your future primarily around a partner's priorities or old relationship patterns. On the other hand, an important person could introduce you to a completely new direction, as long as that partnership supports your independence rather than limiting it. September 9th, Venus forms a harmonious aspect to Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius and your 11th house. This day may reveal how strongly your social circle influences your future plans. Not every opportunity offered through friends, colleagues, or communities truly aligns with your long-term goals. It's especially important to distinguish genuine opportunities from situations that sound exciting but offer little substance once examined closely. September 10. Venus enters Scorpio and your 10th house. After several weeks focused on learning, travel, and expanding possibilities, your attention shifts directly toward career, professional reputation, and public achievement. A promotion, leadership opportunity, professional collaboration, or a more visible role may emerge. If you're self-employed, this period increases attention to your reputation, public image, branding, and how your work is presented to the world. However, because Venus is already traveling through its retrograde shadow, professional decisions made now may require revision later this fall, particularly those involving compensation, career direction, or whether your current role truly reflects your values. On the same day, Venus forms a challenging opposition to Chiron in Taurus and your 4th house. Career ambitions may temporarily conflict with family or home responsibilities. A new professional opportunity could require relocation, schedule changes, or additional time away from home. On a personal level, you may begin recognizing whether your professional ambitions are genuinely compatible with the stable personal life you're trying to build. Also on September 10, Mercury enters Libra and your 9th house. An active period begins for education, travel, legal matters, visas, publishing, teaching, and international communication. This is an excellent time for applications, documentation, negotiations with people abroad, educational opportunities, and expanding your knowledge. On the same day, Uranus stations retrograde in Gemini and your 5th house. Matters involving romance, children, creativity, and personal projects return for review. An idea that gained momentum earlier this summer may now require a different approach. In relationships, an issue you believed had already been resolved may unexpectedly return for another conversation. September 11th, New Moon in Virgo in your 8th house. This new moon begins an entirely new chapter involving shared finances, investments, financial obligations, loans, insurance, taxes, inheritances, and partner resources. A new financial process may begin: a mortgage application, investment opportunity, insurance settlement, business funding, or another source of shared financial support. Trust becomes one of the central themes now. How comfortable are you combining resources with someone else? Under what conditions are you willing to receive help or share responsibility? Because this new moon occurs in practical Virgo, clarity matters. New agreements should include specific numbers, realistic timelines, and clearly defined responsibilities. White Moon Selena is also traveling through your 8th house, making transparent agreements, trustworthy advisors, professional guidance, and financial arrangements with clearly defined expectations especially beneficial now. September 12th. Mercury in Libra and your 9th house forms a harmonious trine to retrograde Pluto in Aquarius and your 1st house, while simultaneously opposing Neptune in Aries and your 3rd house. A conversation, document, or important piece of information could significantly reshape your vision for the future. Mercury's trine to Pluto gives you the confidence to express your position clearly and make decisions that genuinely reflect your personal goals rather than outside expectations. This is an especially productive day for education, publishing, legal matters, international projects, and long-term planning. However, the opposition to Neptune asks you to verify every important detail. Misunderstandings, unrealistic promises, incomplete information, or unclear communication are all possible now. If you're dealing with travel, education, contracts, visas, or legal matters, double-check every fact before making a major commitment. September 14th, Mercury in your 9th house forms a harmonious trine to retrograde Uranus in your 5th house. An unexpected idea could completely reshape your plans involving education, publishing, travel, or personal growth. A creative project may suddenly move in a completely new direction, while an unexpected conversation or new acquaintance could inspire a path you hadn't previously considered. If your work involves teaching, content creation, media, writing, coaching, or building an audience, this day may bring an exciting new format, topic, or strategy for expanding your reach. Also on September 14th, Black Moon Lilith enters Capricorn and your 12th house. Over the coming months, it will be especially important to pay attention to hidden stress, emotional exhaustion, and the tendency to carry too much internally without expressing it. Instead of reacting impulsively to anxiety, try understanding where it actually comes from. Awareness will be much more productive than simply staying busy. September 15th, Venus in Scorpio and your 10th house forms a challenging square to retrograde Pluto in Aquarius and your first house. Your professional life may require choosing between external expectations and your authentic direction. An opportunity may appear prestigious on the surface, while asking you to step into a role that no longer reflects who you're becoming. Relationships with supervisors, influential people, or authority figures could reveal power struggles, control issues, or questions about who ultimately makes the decisions. If you're self-employed, this aspect may show that your public image, branding, or overall professional strategy is ready for significant transformation. Pluto in your first house continues reshaping your identity, while Venus in your 10th house reflects those inner changes through your career.
Because Venus is still traveling through its retrograde shadow, avoid making final conclusions now.
Instead, recognize that mid-September reveals exactly which professional roles, ambitions, and career conditions will require review later this fall. September 18th, Chiron returns to Aries in your 3rd house, once again highlighting education, communication, paperwork, your immediate environment, and confidence in your own voice. An issue that surfaced earlier this year may return for another round of growth. You may need additional training, new qualifications, important documentation, or finally have a conversation you've been postponing for quite some time. This transit also asks whether you truly trust your own perspective when facing criticism, disagreement, or differing opinions. At the same time, Mercury in Libra and your 9th house forms a challenging square to retrograde Saturn in Aries and your 3rd house. The axis between the 3rd and 9th houses requires you to balance big-picture vision with practical details. Travel, legal matters, education, publishing, or international projects may encounter delays involving paperwork, deadlines, documentation, or additional requirements. You may need to revise documents, retake an exam, confirm credentials, wait for approval, or prepare more thoroughly before an important conversation. Saturn isn't blocking your progress, it is strengthening your foundation by exposing weak spots before you move forward. September 22nd, Mercury in Libra and your 9th house forms a harmonious sextile to Jupiter in Leo and your 7th house. After the limitations of mid-month, new opportunities begin opening through other people. A partner, client, advisor, consultant, attorney, or professional specialist may offer exactly the guidance or opportunity you've been looking for. This is an excellent time for discussions involving international partnerships, legal matters, education, publishing, teaching, or projects designed for a broader audience. This aspect is also highly favorable for relationships. It becomes easier to discuss the future together. Travel plans, relocation, education, long-term goals, or any decision requiring cooperation between two people. Jupiter in your 7th house continues expanding opportunities through partnership, so someone you meet near the end of September may become far more significant than they initially appear. September 23. The Sun enters Libra and your 9th house. After several weeks centered around shared finances, obligations, and practical responsibilities, your perspective begins expanding beyond immediate concerns. Education, travel, international opportunities, publishing, legal matters, professional development, and long-term growth move into the spotlight. A concrete goal may emerge that inspires you to pursue additional education, prepare important documents, expand your audience, or step into a larger professional arena. This period may also coincide with travel, preparations for a journey, university admission, teaching opportunities, publishing your work, or collaborating with people from different countries or cultures. September 26, full moon in Aries in your 3rd house. This full moon brings culmination in matters involving paperwork, communication, education, negotiations, contracts, travel, information, and your immediate environment. An important document may finally be completed. You could receive an answer you've been waiting for. A meaningful conversation may bring long-awaited clarity. An educational program, application, examination, negotiation, or communications project may finally reach completion. Because this full moon activates the 3rd 9th house axis, A seemingly small decision may become the key to a much larger opportunity. A completed document could make international travel possible. Finishing a course may open an important professional door. A conversation or piece of information may completely reshape your future direction. At nearly the same time, the Sun in your ninth house opposes Neptune in your third house, while forming a harmonious trine to Pluto in your first house. Neptune reminds you to verify every important fact. Don't build major plans on information from uncertain sources. This is especially important with legal matters, travel arrangements, ticket purchases, contracts, visas, and important negotiations. Meanwhile, the Sun's trine to Pluto gives you the strength to make decisions that genuinely reflect the person you're becoming. You may finally release an old direction that no longer fits your life, or confidently choose a path that once seemed too transformative or intimidating. September 27-28. Before changing signs, Mars in the final degrees of Cancer and your sixth house forms a challenging square to Chiron in Aries and your third house. A work-related situation may require a difficult conversation, urgent paperwork, or a quick solution to an organizational issue. Differences with coworkers could arise over responsibilities, deadlines, or incomplete communication. The most important thing now is not to let workplace frustration turn into personal conflict. The real issue may not be another person at all. It may simply be an inefficient system of communication that needs improvement. Then on September 28th, Mars enters Leo, and your seventh house, noticeably changing the energy of the weeks ahead. After a period of intense focus on work and daily responsibilities, your energy shifts toward relationships, partnerships, clients, negotiations, and collaboration. You become much more proactive in working with other people, defending your interests, initiating joint ventures, and making important decisions within personal and professional relationships. Jupiter is already traveling through your seventh house, so the combination of Jupiter and Mars can dramatically increase the number of opportunities, meetings, and partnership offers that come your way. A major client may appear. You could meet an important business partner or quickly launch a collaborative project with someone who shares your vision. In your personal life, relationships also become much more active. For new connections, events may unfold surprisingly quickly. Existing relationships may reach the point where important decisions can no longer be postponed. Mars, however, also brings unresolved issues to the surface. If there has been an ongoing disagreement between you and someone important, it will become much harder to avoid after the end of September. On the same day, the Sun in your ninth house forms a harmonious trine to retrograde Uranus in your fifth house. An unexpected opportunity may arise through creativity, a personal project, travel, education, or a new acquaintance. An unconventional idea could open an entirely new path for your future. September 29th. Mercury in Libra and your ninth house forms harmonious aspects to the lunar nodes, while simultaneously making a challenging aspect to Chiron in Aries in your third house. A conversation, important document, or new piece of information could help you finally determine your next direction. This may involve a decision about travel, higher education, certification, publishing, legal matters, or international cooperation. With the North Node in your first house, the most important question is whether this decision truly supports your own growth and long-term evolution. The opposition to Chiron may temporarily make you question whether you know enough or whether you're truly ready for the next step. But that uncertainty becomes part of the process. Taking time to ask additional questions, gather better information, or strengthen your knowledge ultimately leads to a wiser and more mature decision. September 30th. Mercury enters Scorpio and your 10th house. Together with Venus, Mercury significantly strengthens your career sector. An important period begins for professional conversations, interviews, promotions, leadership opportunities, and critical decisions about your professional future. Negotiations with management and long-term career planning. You may interview for a new position, discuss greater responsibilities, negotiate better terms, or begin shaping the next chapter of your professional life. If you're self-employed, this is an especially productive time for refining your public image, strengthening your brand, improving your visibility, and developing a clearer strategy for future growth. Keep in mind, however, that Venus is still moving through its retrograde shadow and stations retrograde in Scorpio on October 3rd. Because of that, professional decisions made during the final days of September may represent only the first version of a much longer story. An offer could return later with revised terms. A former professional contact may reappear. Or your own perspective on career, status, leadership, and professional value may change significantly throughout October and November. September is not asking you to make permanent career decisions. Instead, it reveals exactly which professional questions deserve deeper reflection before committing to your long-term future. Aquarius, September connects several major areas of your life into one powerful story. The new moon in your 8th house launches a new chapter involving shared finances, investments, commitments, and deeper partnership agreements. The full moon in your 3rd house brings important information, meaningful conversations, and completed processes that help shape your next steps. Jupiter continues expanding opportunities through partnerships, while Mars entering your 7th house at the end of the month dramatically increases momentum in relationships, negotiations, and collaboration. At the same time, Venus begins a much larger autumn journey of reviewing your career goals, public reputation, professional direction, and the conditions under which you're willing to build lasting success. And all of this unfolds with Pluto and the North Node moving through your 1st house. That means the most important question is no longer whether a decision feels familiar, comfortable, or expected by others. The real question is whether it truly reflects the person you are becoming. By the end of September, you'll have a much clearer understanding of which partnerships deserve your energy, which professional opportunities are worth pursuing, and which financial agreements genuinely support the future you're creating. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm sending you a big hug, dear Aquarius, and wishing you a beautiful, inspiring, and empowering September. If this forecast resonated with you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next forecast.